Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Faisal Mahmoud Rudra. My presentation topic is Formation of a Treaty, a brief analysis. Introduction. A treaty is a formal, legally binding written agreement between two or more subjects of international law, primarily states and international organizations. It is usually entered into by sovereign states and international organizations. A treaty may also be known as convention, agreements, arrangements, protocols, covenants, charters, and acts or exchange of letters among the others. The rules concerning formation of treaties are contained in the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties 1969. The Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties lays down basic and fundamental principles to govern treaties. The main principle on which the convention operates is pacta sunt servanda. That means all treaties must be followed in good force. It provides for various provisions such as ratification, reservation, approval, conclusion, withdrawal, invalidation, termination of a treaty, etc. The convention is legally binding on its parties. The concept of treaty. Treaties are the first and foremost source of international law, and those are among the earliest manifestation of international relation, with the earliest known example dating to the mid 13th century BC, are that today recognized as a primary source of international law. Whenever an international court has to decide international dispute, its first endeavor is find whether there is an international treaty on the point or not. In case there is an international treaty governing the matter, provision of treaty. International treaties occupy the same significant position in the field of international law as the legislation occupies in the municipal law. So treaties are the more direct and formal method of international law creation. There lies the importance of treaties. Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I'm Asmal Husna. First, I would like to thank my course teacher Khalid Rahman sir for giving me this opportunity to present my presentation. Now I'm discuss about who can perform a treaty. Why treaties are concluded on behalf of states are abstractions and need people of flesh black to perform the legally relevant such acts. There rises a question who can perform such acts. Obviously, this prerogative rests with the head of state. He or she, after all, is traditionally thought to be the personification of the state. Since the 1933 Eastern Greenland case, it has been clear that international law also treats foreign ministers as having the power to bind their states. This was not immediately obvious. After all, historical foreign ministers have occupied a somewhat convention reflects all this in Article 7 and adds that ambassadors and representatives at conferences or organizations also have the power to bind the state, and their powers are limited to negotiating with the states to which they are accredited. Now my next point is types of treaty. Treaties are classified into two types: bilateral treaties. When a treaty is between two states, it is called a bilateral treaty. It binds both the states toward the obligation mentioned therein agreed between both of them. And second one is multilateral treaties. There are the treaties which are entered into by a number of states. A single state signing the same treaty separately with one and more states doesn't make it enter into a multilateral treaty. A multilateral treaty is a single treaty which is signed by many states. For example, Non-Proliferation Treaty is a multilateral treaty signed between 189 states. The UNCLOS is another instance, which is the United Nations Convention of the Law of Sea, and there are many more.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Asif Mahmood. My point is formation of treaty. There is no specific form. The conclusion of treaty, an oral agreement between the representative of the state starts with the task of conducting negotiations and empowered to bind their respective countries is sufficient to have a binding effect. It is the intention of the representative to conclude a legally binding transaction. The enormous importance of the issue involved such agreement, however, necessitates the complements of formal recruitment and their reducing the agreement into a document. And there is no concrete way to creating a treaty. It may be present in the defined form, such as a contract of an exchange of notes, since the Rush-Bagot agreement between Great Britain and the US for mutual disarmament on the Great Lakes. Most treaties thereby follow the similar structure. Every treaty begins to in the introduction is preamble which state object the treaties parties to it. Going to the law treats following the Stomach essential of formation of treaties. Step 1, according to representative. Step 2, negotiation and adoption. Step 3, signature. Step 4, ratification. Step 5, accession. Step 6, entry into force. Step 7, registration and publication. Step 8, application and enforcement. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum sir, I'm Monica Rahman. Thank you for giving me opportunity. Today my topic is interpretation of treaties. Three types of schools of interpretation. Textualist. The first school is a textualism. BCL Article 31 is a discuss a treaties interpretation calls for examination of a text ordinary meaning. Many treaties are drafted into or more languages, and it is a battle to ascertain to not only which language are authentic but also that there may be different shadows of a meaning of terms in a different language. Intentionalist. The second is a intentionalist approach to a text interpretation has never been popular in international law in that the BCLT regarded a source of shedding light on the intent of the drafter, including the negotiated history of the provision to a secondary rule. They can be used only the text is ambiguous or obscure, or the plain meaning of the text leads to a manufactory, absurd, or unreasonable result. Teleological. The labels the third school of interpretation, seeking of the effective the process of the treaty rather than following the test of attempting to define the intent of the drafters. The goals of this approach is the interpreted a treaty is a way that gives scope to the fundamental reason of a problem it was supposed to address. This approach is especially common with more organic or constitutional treaties, including those that establish international institutions or the fashions or framework that fundamental international legislation. Article 57 suspension of the operation of a treaty under this provision or by content of the parties. The operation of a treaty is regarded to all the parties or to the particular party may be suspended in a conformity with the provision of the treaty, or B, at any time by a consent of all the parties after the consultations with the other contending is. Thank you, sir.
Assalamualaikum sir. My name is Reja Humara Payal and my presentation topic is formation of treaty, and my subtopic is the binding force of treaties. Vienna Convention of the Law Treaties 1969 of the International Law Commission of the United Nations drafted the Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, which was adopted on the May 23, 1969. Entering into force on January 27, 1980, it is an international agreement between the states to govern and regulate treaties. The treaty is limited to and regulate treaties and encompasses written treaty only. Divided into many parts, the first part sets out of the object, terms, and scope of the agreement, and the second part is lays down rules for adoption, ratification, and the conclusion of the treaties. As per Latin maxim, pacta sunt servanda, or mentioned under Article 26 of the Convention, all treaties are binding on the signatories and shall be followed bona fide. And that was my presentation. Thank you for listening, Misa. Thank you so much.
Salah. Hello everyone. My topic is formation of treaty, basic analysis. My point is conclusion. International Court of Justice state indefinitely treats as a source of law along with general principles and custom. Treaty occupation of very eminent position in international law. They ensure friendly and peaceful relation of state with one another and are a mean by which international organization takes from regulate and the monitor their affairs. The cooperation of the treaty has undergone significant change over time. Treaties can be compared connection. Both are means of willing parties alone obligation among themselves and a party to either party to either party to either that fails to fill up their obligations can be held liable, and the treaty actually introduced in the multiplication law of custom contracts international which source inclusion and necessary in order assume a blind center in earlier periods that treaties used to be oral and ceremony would be held where the parties would consecrate it and swear another god, which used to act as blinding force of the treaty. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone.